Welcome to Chamber Talk. We're at Dublin High School today and we're in the construction shop. And I want to introduce to you Mr. Kersey. Mr. Kersey, thank you for joining us on the show today. Mr. Kersey is over the construction program here. It's part of the CTAE programming here at Dublin High School. And Mr. Kersey has led an initiative here to build tiny houses. So in just a little bit, we're going to go outside and we're going to look into one of those tiny houses and talk a little bit more about that. But to start with, Mr. Kersey, I want you to tell us a little bit about you and how you ended up here at Dublin High School and how you got involved in this program.
Okay. Well, I'm worked in Savannah at the City of Savannah Inspections Department, and knew I wanted to come back to Dublin one day. And the vision I have was for the students at Dublin High School to build these tiny houses for either homeless or the working poor, to have them in the community at Dublin. And people don't understand that even though you're homeless, there's homeless that do work and give back to the community.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do here, is to teach the kids a trade, to either electrical, plumbing, construction. Whenever they get out of school, they can actually go into the construction field. And what we're doing here is building these 128 square feet tiny houses to hopefully put them in the Dublin, and 20 years from now, these kids can go by and say, hey, I helped build this. So
awesome.
That's what we're looking at.
Okay, and so the program here, is this a new program at Dublin High School?
Brand new. And my vision was to have something, the first program in Georgia that nobody else has. We don't go in here and just build a wall and wire it and tear it down and do it again. We actually build a dream for somebody.
So you're building livable houses, and we're going to go out, and I've already seen inside of one of these houses. It's totally amazing.
Right.
So your construction class here, you're doing wiring, siding, the floor, every part of building a home that's a livable home for someone to occupy.
Every part. Yes, sir. It will be livable. I mean, once we place it in its final resting place, as I call it, then it'll be a totally functional home for a single, either, like I said, it can be homeless, the working poor, veterans. I mean, we're open to any suggestions, and we need the City of Dublin to come help us pull this thing together. We can't do it by ourselves, and that's what we're asking is we need help from
some community partners here,
that's
and
exactly
some
right.
investment possibly.
Yes, sir.
As well. So a new program you guys have started here, first year program, student participation. How many do you have? What are you looking for? How do you see this program maybe 2-3 years from now?
We have 18 students right now. I've got a third and a fourth period. We're building 2 tiny houses right now. I started out thinking maybe 1, but I wanted to kind of get them in competition with one another, the third and fourth period. And you'll see the tiny houses in a little bit. And the students have done an excellent job. I mean, I'm just a small part of this. I mean, the students,
they're doing the work.
That's who needs all the credit. The students, Dr. Williams, superintendent, the school board, I can't thank them enough. I mean, they have been awesome in supporting us.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back from our commercial break, we're going to actually be inside of one of these tiny houses, and we'll talk a little more about them.
I thought I'd lost my business in that fire, but my agent was there before the flames were out. He said, together, we're going to rebuild. Our employees depended on it. My independent agent and auto owners made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Curry Companies and Curry Residential, your Caldwell banker, providing real estate services since 1902.
It's a month of giving thanks to our customers at Dublin Nissan.
Right now, save up to $5,500 off MSRP on the Rogue.
Call, click, or come see us. Dublin Nissan, the only dealer you will ever need.
Welcome back to the show. We are inside of a tiny house. And Mr. Kersey, this is actually one that you built, I believe, before maybe you started the class here, and this is your tiny house, but it actually is a great way for us to see what these could possibly look like. So I know we're going to pan around some and show some of the things that are in here, but talk to me about the amenities of a tiny house. Is there anything missing that you would not have in your home?
Not really. I actually built this one. This was my first tiny house I built on wheels, 2016. And people go tiny for different reasons. Some people do it for financial independence. Some people do it just to get rid of a lot of stuff and don't have a lot of stuff, because the more house you have, the more stuff you have.
Minimalist.
That's right.
Sounds like my wife.
That's exactly right. And that's what we are at a point in our life where we want to start doing things instead of having things. Mm-hmm. And you can have do a lot more things and travel and do a lot of stuff if you minimize your life.
So multi-purpose home here. But talk to me a little bit about dimensions, and then again we'll go into a little bit about all the amenities and things that are inside of a tiny house. But what is the square footage and the size of
the square footage of this one right here is just a little under 200 with a loft.
Okay.
The ones we're building for at Dublin High School are 128, 128 square feet, and they're basically going to have the same thing this does. I mean, you've got washer and dryer combination. You've got your compost. We've got a compost toilet in here. The other ones we're building at Dublin High School will have regular toilets in there, and shower.
So city water, electric. They're fully capable of all
everything.
of that.
Once they are set up, then they'll have city sewage, city water,
washer, dryer, heating, air,
heating and air, water heater, everything that a normal size house would have.
And I want to go back to now, your students are actually, they're installing the heating, the air, the elements that'll be needed. Maybe not the actual air conditioner itself, but all the wiring, all the copper, all the electrical.
They did
all of that.
They did all the wiring, all the plumbing, all the PEX. They did everything. I mean, it's amazing what these kids have shown me this year. They're 15 and 16-year-olds, and I know some 30-year-olds that can't do what they've done.
Oh, I'm amazed again to see the houses and to see the quality that's gone into that. Mr. Kersey, tell me again, and we talked just briefly about that, what kind of help, what kind of assistance do you need from community, from businesses, from somebody that might even be watching the show today that says, you know what, I would like to be a part of helping somebody have that dream of owning their own home? What types of things or services, or what could our community do to support your program here?
Well, what we like to do is we're always looking for material donations, if it's in the form of money or if it's in the form of the actual materials.
Okay.
Is what we're looking for. Anything, prayers. I mean, that's the biggest thing that we need here, because we're trying to get this program started. We'd like to make it where other schools would image us.
Okay.
That we can, instead of us building 2 houses every semester, we can get area schools and we can have more houses for more people.
Okay. And so somebody, maybe you've recently had your house had a new roof and you had some shingles left over. Mm-hmm. You guys could take that as a donation, things like that.
Well, there's certain, like shingles and everything on these tiny houses right here. I'm trying to stay at a standard where we have metal roofs that'll last. Once we get through with them, 30 years from now, they should look exactly the same with the roofs and everything else. We're trying to do metal roofs. We're not going with sheetrock. We're actually going with tongue and groove knotty pine.
Okay.
So everything inside is durable. I mean, it will last, and that's what we're looking at. We're looking at something that, like I said, you go in there 20, 30 years from now, hopefully it's going to look the same. Maybe need painting, but that's about it.
And let me ask you, Mr. Kersey, I don't know if I asked this question or we talked about this before, and I know this one is yours, and it's fully functional and furnished. So the houses that you guys are building, and I think you mentioned you're going to give these to the city if they'll take them and use them. Are they going to sell these houses? How is that going to work, and will they be fully ready to move into, or will they have those the furnishings and things in them? Tell me, to what extent will you deliver the home, and then how is the home awarded or sold, or what happens there?
We haven't figured out all those details out. Hopefully that that we can partner up with the Dublin Land Bank in the city of Dublin to find the people that actually need these houses. Me personally, I would like to see them go into a neighborhood that's the houses have been torn down in, that you couldn't normally use the land for anything else. Have this like a community set up with maybe some gardens, and start a brand new community.
So a tiny house community.
Tiny house community is what my vision is. But like I said, I'm not sure what the city of Dublin's vision is, but we've got right now, we can solve a problem that hadn't been solved before.
Right.
Is what we're trying to do.
I think if we can bring our resources together as a community, what you guys are doing here is amazing. You will need support. You've had some money that the school has used that you've had for your construction program, but you've pretty much built and completed 2 of these houses now, which is for the most part probably depleted most of your budget.
It has.
And so you're going to need some revenue, you're going to need some materials and some things like that to continue this program.
That is correct, yes sir.
Okay, and then you said again first year, so you're hoping that this program will increase in its popularity at Dublin High School, and what would a good full class to you, what would that look like? How many?
Around 6 to 8 students per tiny house.
Okay.
If we decide to go with 2 again this next semester. But if you get more than that, then everybody kind of gets in the way of one another, and it becomes where some people are not doing as much as others, and it's not fun anymore.
But you want to keep them engaged. Again, the purpose here is to make these folks employable, hopefully here
Absolutely.
in Dublin and Lawrence County. So from the employment sector, do you have any existing relationships, any folks that you've been working with already that are involved or engaged in your program? I know the other day Mr. Garbett from Garbett Construction was over with us touring through the homes. Or do you have some partnerships with some folks locally?
We don't yet, but like I said, this is a new program and we're still trying to form relationships, and I think we can. Like I said, I just moved back from Savannah I've been here a year, so I'm trying to get to know, I'm from Dublin, trying to get to know the new faces and all too, and trying to get those relationships started. Okay,
so if you're watching the show today, business, industry, or just a neighborly type person, we could use your help with this program at Dublin High School. It's a great program. It's teaching kids work ethics and more importantly skill sets that they're going to need to be employable in our community, while at the same time providing that dream for some folks, a home, an affordable home that someone can live and function in. So I hope you're going to enjoy looking around inside the home, and we're going to take a commercial break and we'll come back and wrap up.
What if there was a paint that had the power to awaken something old, or painfully dated, or something you simply thought was lost forever? Because it could form a strong bond, regardless of age. If a paint could give any time-worn surface stunning new life, you have to wonder, is it still paint? Regal Select Exterior from Benjamin Moore. Only available at independently owned paint and hardware stores.
Available at Four Seasons Paint and Floor Covering.
Hi, I'm Anna Grace with Myers Equipment and Supply, your dealer for the complete line of Can-Am side-by-sides and ATV products. For hunting, farming, or riding the trails, Can-Am has the models you need. See the full line of exciting Can-Am products featuring the Can-Am Outlander line of ATVs. Outlanders outfit you with the best mix of performance, handling, and comfort, all at a price you can afford. Can-Am Outlanders. Riding the trails, working the farm, or playing in the mud, nothing beats a Can-Am. Come into Myers Equipment today and see the full line of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
Welcome back to the show. We have moved outside, a bright sunny day, a little bit cool, but we're in front of one of two tiny houses that are almost complete here on the campus at Dublin High School. And Mr. Kersey, one of the things we didn't talk about and I want to make sure we share with folks, cost and again, what you guys are doing, you're not trying to make profit here, you're not trying to turn this into a business, you're trying to give back to the community. But what are costs involved to purchase a home, and what do you need to recoup to be able to build more of these homes?
We're as materials right now are kind of expensive, and we're just trying to, like you said, recoup our money. It's costing us around, we're thinking around $10,000 to do one of these homes. The students, all their labor is going to be free and everything, so that's all we're trying to do is recoup, you know, the $10,000 where we can actually sell one of these, turn around, the next class rebuild another one, and hopefully, you know, I'm hoping to have 100 of these in the next 20 years. I mean that's just maybe an unrealistic goal, but I'd love to see more schools get involved in this. We'd be glad to show them our program. Sure. And if we can, like I said, we just really need some help with donations, and anything that community can do to help us would be great. Okay, so from start to finish, we're talking about $10,000. Yes, and I want to also say, and I think this is good in the donating and the or purposing these houses with the land bank and doing things such as that. But the one that you have is actually on a trailer. And I know with these, and I'm looking at them, and they're portable. Mm-hmm. So if someone's just looking, maybe you don't want a mobile home, maybe you don't want that, but you would like to purchase one of these, they could also contact you and pay and have one built? Is that a possibility? Maybe later on, but we're trying to get our vision with helping the working poor right now. Okay. That's what we really want to start off doing. I mean, I'd love to, you know, build these, have the students, you know, build them for that, for a mother-in-law suite, a man cave. Down the road, maybe a little more of a custom-built tiny house, but for right now, these want to be functional houses for folks to live in. Yeah, that's my vision from the start, and I'm not going to move from that vision, I don't think. It's in my heart to do that, and that's what we're going to do. Absolutely. Okay, and you got two, like we said, almost complete now. You got some great students. I know you got these have to be talented individuals. I've, like I said, been inside, looked at the craftsmanship and the work that's done. So let's get one of your students and bring them on for a few minutes. I want to welcome Jaquarius Plummer to the show. That's Nietzsche, that's your last name. You got to do some plumbing work when you're inside here as well. Always. But tell me a little bit about what got you interested in construction shop and working with Mr. Kersey here at Dublin High School.
I've always grew up to be a kind of a hands-on person, and I like to do different things, and this seemed to be a thing that was different, and I wanted to try it out. So I signed up for the class, and that's what we ended up working on. And does it excite you to know that you could possibly have built a home that's going to provide shelter and a different lifestyle, maybe even for an individual right here in Dublin and Lawrence County? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it does. So you started, and you've seen one of these buildings behind us from start to finish? Yes, sir. You've been involved in the process. The whole process. So what are you looking forward to doing when you graduate from Dublin High School? The Air Force. Air Force? Yes, sir. Any future maybe in construction, building, that type of future for you? Yes, sir. Okay, and Mr. Kersey, to wrap up the show today, we need to like to finish by just giving you a minute to look into the camera, and if we want to say to make a plea to students, to families, as far as participation in your program and help with your program here. I'm looking for some willing students, the ones that are passionate about
building tiny houses, learning that trade. This could be a lifelong experience for you. I mean, a lot of people don't go to college and everything.
Right.
So, and it's not for everybody. You're cold every day, you're hot every day out here in the weather. I just want, people that's passionate, students that are passionate about the construction trade, because it's a well-paying industry. It's a kind of a dying industry right now, but you can make a great living at it.
Right, and I remember Mr. Garbutt the other day mentioned these site, I don't know, it wasn't supervisors, I don't know what the correct word, maybe something that you may be interested in doing, but there's a huge need for individuals with your skill set. And so, yeah, these guys can make very lucrative livings and provide for their family, while at the same time, in some ways, it's a great reward and return on investment for our community.
Absolutely.
So I want to say thank you to both of you gentlemen for your hard work here at Dublin High School. Congratulations on these tiny houses. Again, I think we're going to show a little bit inside of two of these that are almost complete. Okay. And if you're watching the show today and you have interest in being involved in this program or working with the folks at the high school, if you'll contact the office here at Dublin High School or get in touch with us at the Dublin Lawrence Chamber, we'd love to get you involved in this program. Always like to end the show by reminding you that folks like this make today and every day a great day for business in Dublin and Lawrence County.